When you think about it, knowledge is the foundation of all your wealth. You spend most of your waking hours deploying knowledge to solve problems, and at work the one guaranteed source of lasting competitive advantage is a company's ability to create and exploit its knowledge assets. But as you sleep, the body of knowledge you need grows exponentially. Researchers tell us that the build-out of the Internet of Things will result in the doubling of knowledge every 12 hours. At work, you're expected to have deep expertise in your specialty, but you're constantly faced with tasks requiring a depth of knowledge you just don't have. Just developing this web service requires literacy in 6 computer languages. Faced with a blank page, you look for a manual, a mentor, a subject matter expert, but they're seldom available at the critical moment. So what if you could summon up an attendant spirit, a digital ghost of mentors past, to walk you through everything ever known about your problem? Spec's mentor is the dialogue, with a step-by-step workflow, automatically finding all the knowledge assets you need. Hi, this dialogue will help you prepare a presentation aimed at persuading an audience to accept your proposal and take some future action. And what if the know-how was formatted for immediate use? This isn't a fantasy, it's real. I created a cloud-based knowledge management service to give you just this experience. Spec's mission is to capture, analyse and organise knowledge so it's easy to find and transform into published works. Spec's productivity gains flow from some valuable propositions. Don't waste time creating it from scratch. Configure it from existing knowledge, then add that spark of insight that's new. Do this and you'll push the boundaries of knowledge further, faster. Don't do this and you'll be trampled underfoot by your opposition. Here I'm finishing up a client proposal. I'll just add another cost option from our knowledge base. Oh, now configuration labor won't be that much. Spec will do a cost roll-up. I'll publish. Do a quick review. It'll be this quick because I'm reusing knowledge that's been reviewed 1,000 times before. Just check the cost estimate. All good. You can search with Spec. Now, I know we had a knowledge doubling curve somewhere, and it was used in marketing materials, probably as a hook to get people's attention. Where was that? Found it. Now I need the workbench where we used it to do proposals. Got it. Spec never forgets. Your new knowledge is retained in the knowledge base for future reference. Subject matter experts may come and go, but your knowledge assets are secured for all time. And in an uncertain business environment with rapidly changing technologies, this knowledge will become your one guaranteed source of competitive advantage. Knowledge-driven companies succeed by constantly creating new knowledge, broadcasting it throughout their organization, and rapidly embodying it in new products and services. The alternative is ignorance, which in today's competitive business environment means extinction. Take this guy. His ignorance is about to earn him a death by claw. Hi, I'm Les Chambers, the guy with the crab. The ideas behind Spec came from my adventures with mega projects. We often delivered documentation to the client in 3-ton trucks. Back in the day, a web service like Spec would have done wonders for our productivity. We'd have saved the hours we spent rewriting words we knew existed but just could not find. We had people crossing oceans to join tender teams when today they could stay at home and collaborate online. We fought losing battles to keep track of progress. That gets hard when the work product is intellectual property, a thing that's pretty much invisible. Spec manages knowledge with 8 foundation capabilities. Knowledge is captured by bulk loading from existing documents. You can also manually create and modify knowledge tree nodes with a choice of HTML, or plain text editors. Plain text comes in handy if you're writing software. Spec organises knowledge into domains. Examples are engineering, construction, or legal. Each domain has a set of knowledge trees. A knowledge tree is a collection of related information that's often published as a document. In construction, a knowledge tree might be an estimate. A knowledge tree has a set of nodes, each node expressing a single element of know-how. A node can be plain text or data fields, where the values can be entered, referenced, or calculated. You can also upload and attach all kinds of media. For example, movies, images, and PDF documents. The meaning of each node is described with a Spec ontology class. Here I'll classify this NASA document as a design checklist so I can find it later on. You discover knowledge by searching for both text and meaning. For example, say I've just joined a large company and need guidance on how they run design reviews. A checklist would be good. So I search on design review and get 118 hits. Not much help. But if I refine the search with a design checklist class, I get there in one. Knowledge trees are created with workbenches. A workbench assembles all reference knowledge relevant to your subject area. Reference nodes can then be dragged and dropped into your new tree. Dialogues can be predefined to walk everyone through the process of creating a particular work product, pointing out relevant knowledge along the way. That knowledge can range from fundamental principles that guide the work, for example.
When developing your hook, always remember, your audience never remembers what you said, only what they were visualizing while you were talking. So, stimulate their imaginations with compelling imagery.
To pre-existing assets that can be dragged and dropped into your work product. With this process, Spec transforms your working day from a panic-driven journey into the unknown to an immersive learning environment that produces high-quality work on the first draft. We all make mistakes, so there's a validator that reviews your work for errors. Say I need to configure a new personal computer. I'm incompetent, I do this once every 3 years, so I'm going to need some help from the PC configurator dialog. It's telling me I need a PC case, a motherboard, and a power supply. This case looks good. And I'll configure the industrial motherboard. Now I'll check the config with the validator. Whoops, I have 2 errors. I haven't specified a power supply, and the motherboard does not have a price. I forgot step 4 of the dialog, so I'll dial up my power supply options. Now I need to fix the motherboard price issue. This node is classified by the ontology class PC motherboard, which has a predefined property PC motherboard price. All I need to do is add this property to this node and give it a value. Rerun the validator, and I'm good to go. You publish knowledge trees with Spec document automation. Anything from a 1-page recipe to a 1,000-page tender response. You configure document templates just once, so your team can use them many times. Spec provides all the formatting tools you'll need to produce professional documentation. Standard tree and node print styles, document header and footer control, table of contents, and paragraph indexing. Knowledge trees can be published in whole or in part. You also have control over which node elements are printed. For example, if you're in review mode, you can publish any comments pinned to knowledge tree nodes. Comments like these stay pinned to the tree nodes for all time, providing useful background on how the knowledge was developed. Document automation increases productivity by eliminating time spent on presentation. All those hours wasted by every document author tweaking headers and footers. Instead, each team member is gifted more time to focus on creating high-quality content. Spec collaboration brings people together even though they are far apart. 80% of the companies in the industrialised world have already demonstrated that the most practical thing you can do to guarantee effective teamwork is to create a digital workplace with collaboration tools. Spec's toolset is designed to deliver collaboration's major benefits: cooperation, problem solving, and learning. We humans dominate the planet because we cooperate. Take the Airbus A380 passenger aircraft. 4 million individual parts produced by 1,500 companies from 30 countries around the world. This could not be achieved without open and accurate channels of communication. To enhance collaboration, Spec takes that digital workplace to a new level with high-quality, close-coupled communication. All interested parties have concurrent access to shared knowledge tree assets. Because Spec is a web service, this communication is instantaneous, regardless of where you are in the world. Here's an example of a distributed engineering team designing a drone. Systems engineers in Washington are developing the system concept, while a Los Angeles-based team is fleshing out the ground control station. The LA team can stay abreast of the overall system concept, while the Washington team can keep tabs on the ground control station as it develops. Both teams have read-write access to the knowledge tree nodes they create. On the other hand, if you didn't create a node, you can't change it. With this high visibility of each other's work, teams can pool their knowledge and help out when individuals run out of ideas. Collaboration can occur through comments pinned to individual knowledge tree nodes or in forums created to brainstorm various problems. For example, this guy has a problem. He knows his order entry system needs to be designed for expansion, but can't quite express the requirement. So he gets help from the wisdom of crowds. Rapid learning is a major benefit of close collaboration. You learn fast when you're solving a problem under pressure, and that knowledge in the form of online forum threads accumulates in the knowledge base for all time. Because these threads are full of tips on how to solve common problems, they become a useful resource for future work, often replacing company manuals as the first port of call when you're out of ideas. People also learn from the background to knowledge development. Spec allows authors to record rationales, citations, and links to foundation knowledge in node metadata. When a link is added, a help button automatically appears on the user interface. With online collaboration, you are not limited by geography. If you've got a problem or need a review, dream teams of subject matter experts can be assembled from all over the world. So, using Spec's collaborative tools, cooperation is enhanced because everyone's work is highly visible to all team members. Problems are solved faster with immediate access to detailed records of past problem solving. Spec can also focus more expertise on the problem regardless of where the expert may be in the world. And because you're communicating through a knowledge management tool, the knowledge imparted is captured for all time. So future collaborations can occur not only with those present, but also with the wisdom of mentors long gone. In an ever-accelerating business environment, there is no night or day, only the getting and deployment of knowledge. But as the sum of all knowledge grows exponentially, we cannot hope to manage it without an augmenting intelligence outside our bodies. So if you work with words, producing volumes of documentation, tender responses, quotations, reports, designs and specifications, legal documents, standard operating procedures, legislation, and so on. If your people are supporting customers and need product knowledge at their fingertips. If high staff turnover means you need task-based on-the-job training at the desktop. If you run distributed teams who need to collaborate across the country or the world, I created Spec for you. This is big magic, a home for your collective imagination. And as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen turns them into shapes and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to hear more, contact me here. Cheers.